Hello everyone, welcome to Chef Shelley's Kitchen. I have such an amazing treat for you today, and I'm going to tell you about some variations that you can make it your own. But this is actually a pumpkin coffee cake, and it's vegan. Yay! No dairy, no eggs. And I'll kind of tell you about how we replace the egg. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the crumb. Because in this case, the crumb goes on top. And so we'll make the crumb, we'll put it aside, and then we'll bake the cake and then put that on top. If you're new to my channel, you will note that I actually don't go through quantities. I'll tell you what I'm putting in and what I'm mixing. Just look in the description. You have all of the ingredients and you have all of the quantities, and I'll tell you where you can make some variations. So let's start now with the crumb, as I said. So this is just all-purpose flour. We're going to pour that in. Of course, I like to sift my flour, so we're going to take care of that. We of course have flour for the cake, so we're going to move this over once we've done that. All right, there we go. Okay, now we're going to add, this is brown sugar, and this is cinnamon. And then I'm going to just, excuse me, just mix these a little bit before I add the butter, because the butter is going to really make the crumb, okay? So I like to mix it like this, so at least everything is kind of evenly distributed. And then we add the butter, and this is vegan butter, so want you to know some people are totally against any kind of oils of any sort, and so more than likely you're not going to make this in because it's not really much that you can do to bring this together without some kind of an oil of some sort. So let's go on and put in our vegan butter, and for me this is kind of like my cheat, right? So I try to eat kind of whole food plant-based. I'm going to say 85% of the time, and then there are those occasions where I will add some oil or vegan butter or something like that to something, and it's more the exception than the rule. So I give myself that, right, when I'm trying to make something that is nice and that I can share it with other people. Now what I'm going to do, and I've washed my hands nicely, I've mixed this as best as I could. Now I'm going to just do my hands, okay? Because this is going to make it go a lot faster. Sometimes people put this in their food processor, and you know, that has a way of bringing it together as well. So we're just mixing it nicely here, and then we're going to put it aside, and then it's going to, as I said, serve as our topping. Once I make sure everything is mixed nicely, it'll be our topping for the cake. Okay, now another thing you can do if you want a variation to this, you can add pecans. If you want to chop up some pecans, you could make that also a part of your crumb. So totally up to you how you want to do it, okay? All right, this is nice and mixed. So we're going to take that now and put it aside. I'm going to rinse my hands since I just got in there, right? And of course, this is part of cooking. All right, you got to make it happen. Sometimes you have to do things with your fingers. The other thing, you could use a fork if you're like squeamish about doing your hands, all right? So totally up to you. All right, let's move on now to the actual cake. And so we're going to start with all of the liquid ingredients. So I'm going to go in and put in my pumpkin puree. And this is not pumpkin pie filler. Make sure there's a distinction. Make sure you get the pumpkin puree. And I was very fortunate not long ago. I was actually shopping at Costco, and they had like a whole case of organic pumpkin puree. I thought, oh my God, this has my name all on it. All right, got the pumpkin. We're gonna add, we've got oil here, And again, look in the comments. Here is a secret, okay? So this is apple cider vinegar. That is going to mix with the baking soda and baking powder, and that is going to take the place of your egg. All right, so just want you to know it's a combination of those two things. That is almond milk that I just added. You can use whatever kind of milk alternative that you'd like, again, to keep it vegan. This is just vanilla. And so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna mix this together before I add my dry ingredients. Now, one thing I just realized that I forgot to take out was my cooking spray. So I'm going to, before I pour it in, I'll go over to my pantry and get it out. So let's stir this nicely. All right, got that mixed. This is going to be the baking soda, baking powder. This is our brown sugar. Going to add that. And then this is cinnamon, ginger, and clove. So we're going to add that as well. And before I add the flour, I'm going to just kind of mix this a little bit. And I'm going to be adding the flour like in half increments. Okay. Oh, I love the spices. It smells so delicious. All right, let's put half of the flour in. I'm going to sift it and then we'll put the remaining, and then I will get my cooking spray and coat that pan, and then we'll put it in. Okay, let's put that there for right now. Gonna mix it. There's one other ingredient that I have over to the side, and you might be wondering, well, what is that? This is an optional add. Certainly it's gonna add calories to your recipe, and it is dark chocolate chips. So I like adding a little chocolate chips to my pumpkin. It's not a lot, but I am gonna add mine. It's optional if you wanna add yours. Just like if you wanted to add the pecans, which I did not add the pecans to mine, it's totally up to you. Let's do this. I've got a little extra flour in the bottom of my measuring cup, and I was just making a little bit of a mess, so I don't want to do that. It looks like it's kind of stuck a little bit. Here we go. All right, want to get all of it, especially since I got some of it on the counter. The life of a cook. This is also why I'm wearing an apron. Now, many of you probably that watch me are like, oh, she has an apron. When I'm dealing with flour, then more than likely I'm going to add a nice apron to the mix. All right, let's get this mixed up nicely. We're gonna add our dark chocolate. I'm gonna get my cooking spray, and I think we'll be good to go. I could see if my videographer wants to get it. No, he doesn't want to get it, so we'll just get it. No sous chef here. Everybody is staying in their lane. All right. Mixing this really nicely. It's got this nice battery. Very nice, very nice. And you don't need to over mix it. I mean, it's not a lot of things because we sifted the flour, you know, you're good, you're good. All right, I'm gonna put that here, and let's put some of our dark chocolate chips in here. Let's fold it in. Kind of want it to be evenly distributed. Again, not a necessity. This is optional, but it will add a nice extra little something to it. And you might say, well, coffee cake doesn't have dark chocolate. That's true. It's just, I don't know. When I'm making stuff with pumpkin, pumpkin cupcakes or pumpkin gingerbread, I just like adding a little dark chocolate. And since dark chocolate is good for you, I'm good. All right, let me just go off screen just for a second. Let me get my cooking spray right here. Oops. All right. Spray all the sides nicely because we want it to come out beautifully. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna pour it in like so. And then we're gonna grab those crumbs that we made over there. Look how nicely that comes out. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And you know, I'm gonna feel like guilt-free about this. It is vegan, I'm staying within my rights. Yes, I do have a little oil, but I haven't really hit much oil with anything else this week, so I'm gonna be good with it. All right, nice, nice, nice. Okay, so let's go back to our crumbs. And we're gonna just spread this nice and evenly over the top, like so. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. And you might have to just kind of spread it over a little bit. Just make sure you cover all the areas. That's the beauty of this. Ah, looks so good. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in the oven and I'm gonna check it at the 30-minute mark, okay? And really what you're looking for, because this cake is gonna take about 50 minutes. You're just gonna want to, you know, kind of take a look at the crumbs. How are the crumbs shoring up? They getting dark? And then also use your toothpick to see how it's coming along, okay? All right, so we're ready. We're gonna put it in the oven. I'm gonna check it at 30 minutes and then we'll see how much longer it needs to go. All right, we'll be back. All right, look here. Look at that beauty. It's a beauty, it's a beauty. Came out wonderfully. We'll take a look at the inside. So I literally let mine stay in for like 35 minutes. I tested it at 30 minutes as I recommended. And then I did the toothpick, plus I did the pressure test, just putting my hand on it, make sure the cake was kind of full. And yeah, and I've had it out for 15 minutes to let it cool. So let's go on and remember it's a crumb cake, so you know it should have a little bit of texture to it. And we're gonna just lift this up. This is gonna be good with coffee, tea, anything like that. And of course we have the chocolate chips inside. So here we go. It looks absolutely amazing. And let's get a little bit of a bite. Again, I know this is going to be better in the morning with some coffee. And as I suspected, you know, the chocolate chips always fall closer to the bottom. But anyway, here's a pretty big piece, but let's go for it. Yeah. So good. Just make sure you let it cool. This is wonderful. Texture is great. And hey, have at it, have at it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I am going to enjoy it, and I'm enjoying it right now. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, just click on the little picture. I come out with a recipe every other week, something simple, delicious, healthy. And since being, well, I guess vegan, plant-based for over a year now, those are pretty much my recipes because I'm baking things and cooking things that my husband and I can eat. So enjoy. I really appreciate it. When you like it, it helps YouTube to know, yep, let's endorse this video. So anytime you do that and try it out, send me a little comment, tell me how it turns out. And I thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.